Welcome to the Artistic Exchange on the Wireless, where creativity and commerce collide. I'm your host, Abby, and I'm here with the incredibly talented Neo Houdini. How are you doing?
Siswam, kuhle kunjani?
I'm good.
Thank you for having me.
I feel like the question that has been on my mind the whole entire day is, how did the name come about, Neo Houdini? Because your name is Sibusiso.
Yes. Yeah, igama nguSibusiso isibongo Mbambo, and apparently my ex was actually Sutu. I actually translated the name to Neo. So I was like, okay, cool. At that point, I didn't have, any idea of who I would be, in the music industry. I wouldn't actually tell you what my name was. It was actually crazy. But I was like,
I want to hear. I want to know.
No. It's too cringing, it's too embarrassing for me. Yeah.
I feel like you've reached to the point where you are able to actually share, maybe not embarrassing, but kitty pictures and whatever. So just share.
All right.
Share. It's gonna be our secret.
Okay. Well, they actually watch it. But either way, I went by the name of OMG. Well, yeah, that was the name. Apparently, he actually gave me that name. My buddy actually gave me that name. I was like, why? Because, you got OMG moments. I was like, okay, cool. It's kind of catchy at that point. But, apparently my ex actually translated my name, Sibusiso, to Neo. But I was like, Neo, in the industry, actually sounds too, I don't know. So how about we actually Englishalize it? Just go with Neo. But taking from one of the idols that I actually look up to, Quavo, he actually goes by the nickname of Quavo Hancho. So I actually wanted that, that pizzazz. So Neo was actually kind of naked for me. So as I actually, since I'm a historian myself, I know a lot of people. There's this guy who was Neo Houdini. Neo Houdini was an illusionist and magician at that time. RP to him. So I was like, you know what? Let me just go by the name of Neo Houdini because I also do magic on the mic, is it?
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So that's where it all started. Ever since then, when I've been Neo Houdini all the way.
Okay. So what sparked your interest? Because you say that in a previous conversation that we had, you started music at the age of 12.
Yes.
So what sparked your interest and how did you end up pursuing it?
Of course. My childhood has been, nothing different from Gila and growing up with friends actually introducing me to hip hop. It was nothing special, just spontaneous introduction to another genre. Then because of my accent as well, that's how I actually managed to, kind of get in and tap into the genre. And here we are right now doing music and listening to our various artists like Tiger back in the days, like Drake back in the days, like Kendrick Lamar back in the days, to Migos, kind of switching from rap to trap. I kind of did an evolution of my music, and that's how I actually landed here.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay. How did your family feel about the whole music thing? Because music, it's like a known fact that,
of course,
certain types of music are not really accepted by black communities.
Yes.
Or they're not really appreciated because they're normally associated with gangsterism or with some other thing. So how did your family feel about it? Did they support you? Did they reject?
Hey, man. As a light growing up with my granddad and grandpa and my aunt and uncle, to them it was all new because there was never an artist in the family, But since I was actually born in Cape Town and raised in Port Elizabeth, my late dad who was also a hip hop head, my mom actually kind of supported because me doing all this kind of reminded me of my father, So the only support that I actually got was from my mother, even till this day, she actually still supports me. In all this. So I mean, it was not accepted. It's still not accepted in my family even yet. That's how I actually transitioned from music to business. But in secret, I'm still doing music.
In secret, we can't wait to hear what you've got.
Of course.
Can you share any notable experiences or performances from back in the time, when you were younger? Because you started at the age of 12. So. Is there anything that stood out for you?
Hey man, there's this thing that is called 80-20 rule. 80% of marketing music and 20% of actually doing your music. To me, I actually kind of flipped it around and just focus 80% of my time doing music and 20% on marketing it. But I got, I don't know if I actually should say it as luck, but I managed to actually get invited in the Music Arts Festival in Grahamstown, whereby I opened for Moonchild Sanelli back then, and performed in the Red Bull stage, whereby there was a cipher and stuff like that, whereby I was actually noticed by some professors from the States. And from there, performing in the Guffy Experience, the closer trap movement. I don't know what was it called in 2020, 2021, if I remember correctly. But from then, there were a lot of experiences, like the shout out that I got from, the Big Hash, him actually sharing my music and stuff like that. So those are the only things that I can remember so far, because there are many things that actually happened. But yeah, those are the ones that I actually prioritize the most.
Talking about the shout out from Big Hash, he's like a well-known artist. How did you feel about all of that? How did it like impact your music career?
I don't want to lie. There's this thing that I know, that success doesn't really feel like how you imagined it. Here, like getting a shout out from here, I was like, oh wow, okay, I'm here now. And it's my fault. The reason why I'm actually getting a shout out is because of my hard work and everything. As much as I did appreciate it, but I actually knew that I was actually doing the right thing. I was actually on the right path. So yeah, man, despite all of that though, big shout out to Big Ash, man. He actually elevated my career the most.
Awesome. What inspired your single "The Last Supper"? Because it's actually got an interesting name. Can you please tell me all about "The Last Supper"?
Trust me, you don't even want to know.
I want to know. That's why I'm asking the questions.
Yeah. Bruh, when I was actually doing music, it had nothing to do with inspiration. I just wanted to be fancy. I just gave that song a title. Just like how you're actually curious right now, I just wanted people to actually react that way. Why The Last Supper? The song called The Last Supper. Why The Last Supper? So to me, when I actually did a song, it had nothing to do with concept. It was all vibes and energetic. Because if you actually check the title and listen to the song, it don't make sense. But yeah, it's all vibes. It's all vibes at the end of the day.
So what is the creative process? What is your creative process? Because everybody's got their own creative process. As an artist, as a model, as a designer, I've got my own creative process. What is yours?
My creative process, do I even have one? Sometimes I do, right? Sometimes I just get in the studio and just listen to the beat and just go in the mic and just record. I just have my days whereby I'm lazy. I don't even write at all and just go to the studio and record like as many takes as I can. Sometimes I'll be, full of energy and inspiration there and just decide to take a pen and write. So I don't really have the same thing going on when I go to the studio. It's just different things, man. Depending also who's around me at that a certain time. Because if there are a lot of people, then they'll just help me, get the vibes and get the inspiration just to actually tap on the beat. But if I'm alone, then it's much more difficult. Hence, I have to write and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's only those two. Yeah.
Are there any artists that you'd love to collaborate with, want to work with? Any producers that you'd love to give a chance?
Man, I don't know much, but I'll say Versgoat. But I'm already working with Versgoat for sure. I already worked with Gafi for sure. King Joe, I already worked with him. Kenji, I haven't actually worked with him. I don't want to be too cocky and just spot rappers from actually outside the province. I was just like, keep it local. There are a lot of people that I would like to work with, Lamli or Kenji, with a lot of producers that I know that I don't want to mention all of them right now, but they know themselves, man. They know themselves. We'll be in touch for sure with them.
Okay,
of course.
Okay. If you guys want to check out more, stay connected to the wireless, because I'm bringing you music and more conversations with Neo Houdini.
Of course.
And now we are picking up where we left off with Neo Houdini, diving back into our exclusive interview with his thoughts on the trends in the industry, music industry, of course, and the stories behind his lyrics. Neo Houdini is sharing it all in his Holding Nothing bag. So Neo, let's go back to what we were talking about. Can you discuss your partnership with your brother, Centrals, and how do you guys work together?
Hey man, shout out to my brother. I know he's actually out there on the business meeting right now, but I know he's actually listening. Shout out to you, man. But hey, besides the brotherhood and me actually knowing each other since high school, grade 8, so it's almost a decade. It's over a decade already. Our brotherhood actually started, our partnership actually started grade 11. He was the one who started making beats on a phone, on a Mobicel. Trust me. Crazy, I know. I actually started making beats then, and I think my first song that I made with a producer's beat, it was from him.
Really?
Yes. It's actually called Sad Interlude. Got it up right there on Audio Mac on my first project called Fluvial Parade Season. So, actually made this track, with this beat that was actually made on a Mobicel, Fruity Loops app and stuff like that. And it was actually kind of dope, man. It was actually kind of dope. You wouldn't actually tell that it was made from a phone. It sounded like it actually made on a computer.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah, man.
What inspired your project? Fair is foul and foul is fair. Do you know how many times I've read this thing and I'm like, this guy's trying to trip me up with his words. This guy's trying to trip me up. Okay, so what inspired the project?
As I said on the Last Supper, the only thing behind my music is to try to be fancy. It's try to be outstanding. But
there's no Shakespeare in that.
There is a Shakespeare. It's actually I don't know what chapter. I'm not a book fan though, but it's on his book that is called The Mock Birth.
Okay.
Actually read it back in grade 12. I took this thing, phase, foul and foul is fair, evil and love and evil, type of stuff like that. I was like, I don't know what this means, but to me it actually sounds kind of cool. So I'm gonna just take it, place it on my music, let the people figure out, because even to me it doesn't actually make sense.
Okay. No way.
Yeah, that was it.
No way. Okay.
Trust me.
So what is the reception on that project?
Man, it's
and
actually.
How did you set the stage for your future work?
I mean, it's very, very, impressive, and how I actually did on the project. It receiving more than 35,000 streams on all platforms. 27,000 streams combined on Spotify, and the rest of the streams in other platforms as well. Yeah, man, it has been a great reception. That actually kind of opened doors for me to be able to actually flex and like, yo, man, I have 25,000 streams, let's work, So with people not actually knowing who Neo Houdini is, but I think that term 25,000 streams on Spotify actually kind of opened work for me to actually work with other people. But I kind of still stayed humble about that, but I kind of use that as a tool for me to like, hey, I got 25,000 streams. When or nine, come on. So that was it, man. And for my future work, hey, man, I also released a second project called Him, which was a prologue for my brand, kind of like introducing, this new me, this new character. But people actually called it a persona. I was like, no, man, this is not a mask that I'm wearing. This is me. If you don't want to understand me, then it's cool, because it's fun to be misunderstood in this music industry. But at the end of the day, it's all crazy up until it becomes logical, So here we are, man. Even the project as well is sitting over 25,000 streams on Spotify as well. Great reception. And right now, as a whole, as a brand, I'm sitting over 100,000 streams. Interesting stuff, man.
Can we go ahead and increase those streams?
Let's tap in, man.
But you gotta leave us with your socials and where we can find your music.
Yes.
But before we get into that,
of course,
Him. I see that you call yourself Him on social media.
I am.
Yeah,
am.
You're Him.
I am.
I want to know is Him only based on the music thing? Is it only focused on music, or is there other lanes that you're...
I mean, the whole Him thing, I didn't know it was so popular, because the only thing that actually inspired me was hearing it from a WWE superstar called Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes actually calls himself Him. So I was like, since I'm kind of changing, I went through a breakup, boy stuff. So that actually really did hurt me a lot. And so me recovering from that, I was like, hey, Chonga, you know what? Abandona manch, abazozongam. Come on. So I kind of actually needed the title for my change, this persona that I actually call it. And I was like, I'm actually Him, But as time, went by, I kind of tapped into the character. It kind of became me, not me being it. You understand? So it was a reflection of me everywhere I go. Even learners, when they're actually reading a book, if they come across the word Him, they're actually thinking about me instead of the book. Come on, yeah. So yeah, right now it actually means hybristic, imprudent, and masculine, and other departments actually means motivated, because I don't like to use the M word, in everything that I use. So it went from being a persona to being a character, from being a character to being a brand, and from being a brand to being a company.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
it's like that, man.
As Mr. Him, you are Him.
I am.
Yeah? Give some advice, give some advice to some musicians and entrepreneurs based on your experience. Tell them a little something. Give them advice.
I mean, if you want to do it, don't wait for tomorrow, because why not now?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to go to the gym, if you want to jog and want to lose that weight, don't say I'll go tomorrow, because you have time today. You know, because I always go extreme to myself. I'm like, what if I wake up tomorrow and be dead? So why not actually do it today? And to musicians, man, just do however you want to do it. You know, like the formula that actually worked for me won't work for everyone, you know. But the only thing that I can actually tell you right now is do it however you want to do it. Do it by any means necessary, because planning things and always imagining things so that when they can have expectations that it can become perfect, it may be your biggest disappointment. Do not have a plan. Do not have a strategy. Just get up and do it. You'll figure it out on the way.
Okay.
Just
How
like
can
that.
we find your music?
Music, man. Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Audio Mac. It's Neo Houdini. Instagram, Usubusi Bambo, of course. Facebook, Usubusi Bambo, because I got a brand, I got a company to represent, so I cannot actually use my artistic names on those socials. But if you actually want to stream my music, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Audio Mac, and other streaming platforms, you can find Neo Houdini right there.
Alright, we are definitely gonna be streaming your music.
Of
But
course, thank you
before
very much.
I let you leave,
Mm-hmm.
I want to know your thoughts on the whole Kendrick and Drake
Hey.
feud.
Hey, man.
Cause got everybody at the chokehold, bruh. Like everybody's like, yo, what's gonna happen next? What is Kendrick gonna release now?
Bruh, I would have been answering your question if I didn't meet with Verse Gold first. I was actually having a studio session with Verse Gold, back in June. He's a busy dude. I'm a busy dude, but what an amazing guy he is. I was actually having this conversation with him about this whole beef. And he told me something. Why am I invested in this whole stuff and I'm out here sounding like a fan instead of me actually focusing and pushing my music? Because they are also artists as well. Because if I'm going to be out here giving my input, I'm going to be sounding like a fan instead of a rapper, So, sis, I don't know anything. Let them dudes do what they have to do.
We heard it from Neo Houdini. There's no need for us to focus on their beef.
Yes.
Let them be.
Yeah, they fans. I'm a
We
rapper.
focus
Man.
on ourselves. What I took from this whole conversation
Yes.
is that do what you need to do now.
Now.
Because you don't know what's going to happen next time.
Exactly, man.
Procrastination is the assumption that God owes you an opportunity to do something that you could have done today, tomorrow.
Very beautiful.
So, guys, do what you need to do. But what you need to do for me is let your socials hit his socials. Like, follow, subscribe, do whatever you need to do. Stream his music.
Of course.
I beg of you. I beg. Me, Abigail, begs of you. Stream his music. And up next, we have got some music.